I gave her everything. $200,000. My trust, my future. I thought she loved me. I thought we were building something real. But the morning I woke up to find her gone, bank accounts empty, phone disconnected, visa paperwork missing, I realized I'd been living in a fantasy. And the worst part? I saw the signs. I just didn't want to believe them. I'm sitting in a small cafe in Chiang Mai, and I'm watching Wiphawan laugh at something I just said about American coffee. Her laugh is light, musical, and it does something to me. It reaches into my chest and wakes up something I thought had died 6 months ago with my wife. I swore I'd never talk about this. Not publicly, not like this. But 4 days ago, I got an email from someone who's been following this channel for over a year and a half. They reached out not to pity me, but to thank me. They said they'd been in a similar situation, caught in the beginning stages of something that felt too good to be true, and watching my videos helped them see the red flags they were ignoring. They pulled out before it was too late. When I read those words, something cracked open inside me. I felt my eyes sting. My hands went cold. I had to stand up and pace around the room because I didn't know what to do with what I was feeling. It wasn't pride. It wasn't even happiness. It was something heavier, like grief mixed with hope. Because knowing that my catastrophic failure might have spared someone else the same hell, it made the weight I've been carrying feel just a little bit lighter, just a little more bearable. Before I pull you into this, I need to hear from you. If you've ever ignored warning signs because you were desperate to believe in something beautiful, drop a comment. Hit that like button if you understand what it's like to choose hope over logic. Subscribe if you're new here. And please tell me where you're watching from tonight. It helps to know I'm not alone in this. To all of you who keep coming back, who listen to these confessions without judgment, who make space for my brokenness, thank you. Truly, you've given me something I thought I'd lost forever. The courage, to be honest. You've made this channel feel like home. Let me take you back to where it all started. I came to Thailand 3 weeks ago because I couldn't take it anymore. The silence in my house in Phoenix was crushing me. Every room reminded me of her. The kitchen where she used to make breakfast. The living room where we'd watch television together. The bedroom where I held her hand while she took her last breath. The medical bills were still piled on the counter. I couldn't even bring myself to sort through them. Everything felt pointless. My daughter Rachel kept calling, kept checking on me, but I couldn't tell her how bad it really was. How some mornings I'd wake up and forget for just a second that my wife was gone, and then reality would slam into me all over again. You Americans are so funny about coffee, Wiphawan says, and her English is pretty good, with just enough of an accent to make it charming. In Thailand, we drink coffee so sweet. You drink it black and complain it's too bitter. Maybe we just like to suffer, I say, and she laughs again. I met her 4 days ago at the guest house where I'm staying. She works the front desk, and the first time I saw her, I noticed how she smiled at everyone. Not just the polite smile you give to customers, but something warmer. When I asked her about places to eat nearby, she spent 20 minutes telling me about little restaurants and street food stalls, writing down names in Thai so I could show taxi drivers. The next day, she asked me how the food was. The day after that, she offered to show me around on her day off. And now here we are, sitting in this little cafe, and I feel something I haven't felt in a long time. I feel like I matter to someone. Tell me about Phoenix, she says, leaning forward slightly. Is it very hot there? Hotter than here in the summer, I say. But it's a dry heat. Not like this humidity. And you have family there? A daughter, Rachel. She's 38, married, has 2 kids. She worries about me too much. Wiphawan nods, and something crosses her face. Sadness, maybe. It's good she worries. That means she loves you. My family is in Udon Thani. I don't see them very much. I send money when I can, but it's hard. My mother is not well. I'm sorry to hear that, I say, and I mean it. What's wrong with her? Her heart, Wiphawan says, and she looks down at her coffee. The doctors say she needs medication, but it's expensive. I work 2 jobs, the guest house, and sometimes I help my friend with her shop, but it's never enough. I feel something shift in my chest. This woman is working herself to death, trying to help her family. And here I am, retired, comfortable, with more money than I know what to do with. My wife and I had been careful our whole lives. We'd saved. We'd invested. When she died, I inherited everything. I have nobody to spend it on except myself and Rachel, who's doing fine on her own. What about your father? I ask. He left when I was young, she says. I don't remember him very much. We sit there for a moment, and I realize how much we have in common. We're both dealing with loss. We're both lonely, and in this moment, in this cafe in Chiang Mai, I don't feel so alone anymore. I have an idea. I say, what if I helped you with English lessons? I saw a language school near my guest house. You're already good, but if you want to get better, I could pay for some classes. Her eyes widen. No, I couldn't ask you to do that. You're not asking. I'm offering. Consider it a thank you for showing me around. That's too much, she says, but I can see she's considering it. It's not too much, I say. Trust me. It would make me happy to help. She looks at me for a long moment, and then she smiles. It's different from her other smiles. This one reaches her eyes. You are very kind, man, Gerald. And in that moment, I feel like maybe I can be happy again. Maybe I can build something new. Maybe this is exactly what I needed. 3 months later, and Wiphawan is in my apartment almost every night. I moved into a nicer place, a 1-bedroom with a small balcony overlooking the city. She helped me pick it out. She has a way of making everything feel warmer, more alive. We go to temples together. We eat street food from vendors she knows by name. She introduces me to her friends, young Thai women who work in shops and restaurants, and they're all so welcoming, so sweet. They call me Pai Gerald, which she tells me means big brother, a term of respect. Come with me tomorrow, Wiphawan says one evening. We're on the balcony, and the city lights are spread out below us. My friend is having dinner party. I want them to meet you properly. I'd love that, I say, and I mean it. She leans against me, and I put my arm around her. This feels natural now. It happened gradually, this shift from friendship to something more. The first time she stayed over, she fell asleep on my couch watching a movie. I covered her with a blanket and let her sleep. The next morning, she made breakfast, and it felt domestic, normal, good. Now she has a drawer in my dresser, a toothbrush in my bathroom. I haven't felt this content in years. My phone buzzes. It's Rachel calling. I consider not answering, but Wiphawan gently pushes me toward it. Talk to your daughter, she says. I step inside and answer. Hey, honey. Dad. Hi. I haven't heard from you in a week. I was getting worried. I'm fine. Actually, I'm really good. Yeah? She sounds skeptical. What's going on? I met someone, I say, and even saying it out loud makes me smile. There's a pause. Met someone? Like a friend or more than a friend? Her name is Wiphawan. She's wonderful, Rachel. She's smart and kind, and she's helped me see that I can still have a life here. Another pause. Longer this time. How long have you known her? About 3 months. 3 months? Dad, that's not very long. It's long enough to know how I feel, I say, and I can hear the defensiveness creeping into my voice. I'm not trying to upset you, Rachel says carefully. I'm just worried. You're vulnerable right now. You're still grieving, Mom. I don't want someone to take advantage of that. Nobody's taking advantage of me, I say. Wiphawan isn't like that. She works hard. She's been supporting her family since she was a teenager. She's the most genuine person I've met here. Okay, Rachel says, but I can hear the doubt. Just promise me you'll be careful. Don't rush into anything. I'm 68 years old, I say. I think I know what I'm doing. After we hang up, I feel irritated. Rachel doesn't understand. She didn't see how empty I was before I met Wiphawan. She didn't watch me slowly disappear into grief. Wiphawan comes back inside. Everything okay with Rachel? She's just being protective, I say. She doesn't understand. She loves you, Wiphawan says. That's good thing. My mother is same way with me, always worrying. Speaking of your mother, I say, how is she doing? Wiphawan's face falls. Not good. The medication is helping, but she needs surgery soon. The doctors say her heart is getting worse. Surgery? How much does that cost? Too much, she says quietly. Maybe $5,000. I've been saving, but I don't have enough. I keep hoping maybe in 6 months, a year. I don't even hesitate. Let me help. No, Gerald. I can't ask you to do that. You're not asking. I'm offering. Your mother needs surgery. I can help make that happen. It's too much money, she says, and I can see tears forming in her eyes. It's not too much, I say, taking her hands. You've given me so much. You've made me feel alive again. Let me do this, please. She looks at me for a long moment, and then she throws her arms around me. Thank you, she whispers. Thank you so much. I will pay you back. I promise. I don't want you to pay me back, I say. I want your mother to be healthy. That's enough. That night, lying in bed with her beside me, I feel certain about something for the first time since my wife died. This is right. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Wiphawan needs me, and I need her, and that's enough. Over the next few weeks, I send money for the surgery. $800 here, $500 there, another $3,000 for the hospital deposit. Wiphawan shows me messages from her mother, thanking me in Thai. She shows me pictures of her mother in the hospital, looking frail but grateful. I don't mind the money. I have plenty of it, and seeing Wiphawan's relief makes it all worthwhile. One night, we're having dinner at a small restaurant she loves, and she says something that changes everything. I've been thinking, she says, looking down at her plate. What if I could come to America, to Phoenix, to be with you? My heart jumps. You want to come to America? I've always dreamed of it, she says. But more than that, I want to be with you. Here is nice, but it's not forever, right? Eventually you have to go home, and I don't want to lose you. You won't lose me, I say, reaching across the table for her hand. Then help me come to America, she says. We could build a real life together. I could meet Rachel. I could see Phoenix. We could be together all the time, not just when you visit. A visa, I say, thinking out loud. A fiancé visa. That would work. You would marry me? She asks, and her eyes are wide. Yes, I say, and I realize I mean it. Yes, I would. She starts crying right there in the restaurant, and I move around the table to hold her. Other diners are looking, but I don't care. This woman has saved me, and now I can save her too. The visa process is more complicated than I expected. We need to prove our relationship is genuine. We need documents, photos, statements. There's an application fee, a legal processing fee, an interview fee. It adds up quickly. $8,000 before we even get started. But I pay it all without hesitation. Wiphawan is going to be my wife. She's going to come to America. We're going to build a life together. We meet with the visa agent, a middle-aged Thai man with tired eyes who's probably processed 1,000 of these applications. His office is small, cluttered with files and forms. How long have you known each other? He asks, barely looking up from his computer. 4 months. I say. And you want to get married? Yes. He glances at Wiphawan, then back at me. You understand this is a serious process. The American government will investigate your relationship. They will want proof it's genuine. It is genuine, I say, feeling defensive. I'm sure it is, he says in a tone that suggests he's heard this before. But you'll need to provide evidence. Photos together, messages, testimony from friends and family. Anything that shows this is a real relationship. We have all of that, Wiphawan says, and she squeezes my hand. Over the next few weeks, we compile everything. Photos of us at temples, at restaurants, on day trips to the mountains, screenshots of our messages, letters I've written to her, letters she's written to me. It feels invasive, putting our relationship under this microscope, but I remind myself it's temporary. Once she's approved, once she's in America, none of this will matter. But something's changing. I notice it in small ways at first. Wiphawan is on her phone more. When I ask who she's texting, she says it's her mother or her friends. She smiles at her screen in a way that makes me uncomfortable, but I tell myself I'm being paranoid. She's probably just excited about the visa, about America, about our future. One evening, I come home to find her on the balcony, speaking rapid Thai into her phone. Her voice is different, sharper. When she sees me, she switches immediately to English. I have to go, she says into the phone. Talk later. She hangs up and smiles at me. Hi, baby. How was your day? Who was that? I ask, trying to keep my voice casual. Just my friend. She's having problem with her boyfriend. Is everything okay? Yes, fine, don't worry. But I am worrying. Because something in her tone doesn't match her words. A few days later, she tells me her mother needs more money. The medication is more expensive than the doctors thought. $3,000. I thought the surgery covered everything, I say. The surgery, yes. But now she needs different medication. Special kind. It's imported. Imported from where? I don't know, baby. From another country. The doctors just told me it's expensive. Can I see the hospital bills? I ask, and immediately I regret it. Her face changes, hardens. You don't trust me? Of course I trust you. I just want to understand what we're paying for. What we're paying for. It's my mother's life, Gerald. That's what we're paying for. I didn't mean it like that. Then what did you mean? Her voice is rising now. You think I'm lying? You think I'm making this up? No, of course not. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand. My mother is sick. I'm asking you to help. If you don't want to help, just say so. I want to help, I say quickly. Of course I want to help. I'll transfer the money today. She softens immediately, coming over to hug me. Thank you, baby. I'm sorry I got upset. I'm just stressed about everything. The visa, my mother, everything. I know, I say, holding her. It's okay. We'll get through this together. But that night, lying awake while she sleeps beside me, I can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. Not big wrong, just little wrong, like pieces that don't quite fit together. The next week, I see her at a bar with a young Thai man. I wasn't following her. I was just walking through the night market, and I happened to look through the window of a small bar, and there she was, laughing, touching his arm, looking at him the way she used to look at me. I stand there for a minute, frozen. Then I walk in. Wiphawan? She turns, and for just a second, I see fear in her eyes. Then it's gone, replaced by a bright smile. Gerald, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. This is my cousin, she says, gesturing to the man beside her. Chai, he's visiting from Udon Thani. Chai, this is Gerald, my boyfriend. Chai nods at me, smiling. Nice to meet you. Your cousin, I say flatly. Yes, Wiphawan says, and her voice has an edge to it. Why? Is there a problem? I look at Chai. He's young, maybe 30, wearing designer clothes and an expensive watch. He doesn't look like someone who needs help from family. No problem, I say. Just surprised to see you. I told you I was meeting my cousin tonight, she says, and I realize I don't remember her telling me that. Did she? Or am I going crazy? Right, I say. I forgot. I'll let you two catch up. I leave the bar and walk back to my apartment alone. My hands are shaking. I don't know if I'm angry or scared or both. I pour myself a whiskey and sit on the balcony, trying to make sense of what I just saw. She said, he's her cousin. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm being paranoid. Maybe Rachel got in my head with all her warnings, and now I'm seeing problems where there aren't any. When Wiphawan comes home 2 hours later, she's cold. You embarrassed me, she says. I embarrassed you? Yes. Coming to the bar like that. Like you were checking on me. Like you don't trust me. I wasn't checking on you. I just happened to be there. And you just happened to come inside? You just happened to stand there staring at me? I was surprised to see you. You were suspicious, she says. You thought I was doing something wrong. With my own cousin? I didn't say that. You didn't have to say it. I could see it in your face. She grabs her purse. I'm going home tonight. I need space. Wiphawan. Wait. No. I need to think about if this is going to work. If you can't trust me, Then maybe we shouldn't be together. Maybe we shouldn't do the visa. Panic floods through me. Don't say that, please. I'm sorry. I do trust you. I'm just stressed about everything too. She looks at me for a long moment, and I can see her deciding. Finally, she sighs. Okay. But no more checking on me. No more suspicion. We're partners. Gerald, we need to trust each other. We do. I do trust you. She stays that night, but things aren't the same. There's a distance between us that wasn't there before, and I don't know how to cross it. The next month is a nightmare dressed up as normal life. On the surface, everything looks fine. We still go out. We still smile at each other. We still talk about the future. But underneath, I'm drowning in doubt. Wiphawan is on her phone constantly now. When I come home, she quickly closes whatever she was looking at. When her phone rings, she steps out of the room to answer it. She's started criticizing me more. Little things. The way I eat. The way I dress. The way I talk to waiters. You're too loud, she says one night at dinner. Thai people don't talk so loud in restaurants. I wasn't being loud, I say. You were. You always are. It's embarrassing. I start second-guessing everything I do. Maybe I am too loud. Maybe I am too American. Maybe I don't understand Thai culture the way I should. The money requests increase. Her brother needs school fees, $2,000. Her mother needs a different medication, $1,500. Her sister lost her job and needs help with rent, $3,000. Each time, she gets upset if I hesitate. Each time, I end up apologizing and sending the money. I'm sitting at my computer one morning, looking at my bank statements, and I realize I've sent her over $40,000 in the past 6 months, not including what I've spent on the visa, not including the apartment, the dinners, the trips. How did it add up so fast? My phone rings. It's my old friend Tom from Phoenix. Gerald, where the hell have you been? I've been calling you for weeks. Sorry, Tom. I've been busy. Busy. You're retired. How busy can you be? Just settling into life here. Meeting people? Right. Rachel told me you met a woman. Of course she did. Yeah. Her name's Wiphawan. Rachel's worried about you, man. Says you're not yourself. Rachel doesn't know what she's talking about. Look, I'm not trying to piss you off, but you've gone completely silent. You don't call. You don't email. When we do talk, you sound different. Distracted. I'm fine, Tom. Are you, though? Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you've lost yourself over there. I haven't lost anything, I say, and I can hear the anger in my voice. I've found something. For the first time since Helen died, I've found something good. Why can't anyone just be happy for me? Tom is quiet for a moment. I'm happy for you, buddy. I just want to make sure you're okay. That's all. After we hang up, I sit there feeling angry and guilty and confused. Am I losing myself? Or am I finally living again? I don't know anymore. That night, I wake up at 2 a.m. to find Wiphawan on the balcony, texting someone. The glow from her phone illuminates her face, and she's smiling. Really smiling. The way she used to smile at me. I watch her from the doorway, and something inside me breaks. I walk back to bed and lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, trying not to cry. In the morning, I check my bank account and find $2,000 missing. I didn't authorize any transfer. I call the bank, and they tell me the transfer was made online using my password to a Thai account. When Wiphawan wakes up, I show her my phone. Did you take money from my account? She looks at the screen, and for just a second, I see panic. Then, it's gone. Oh, that. I'm sorry, baby. I should have asked. My brother needed money for school fees. It was emergency. I was going to tell you. You took $2,000 without asking me. I know. I'm sorry. I panicked. He called me crying. He was going to be kicked out of school. You have my password? You gave it to me, she says. Remember when you asked me to pay the electric bill last month? Did I do that? I can't remember. Everything is blurring together. You can't just take money from my account, I say. I know. You're right. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. But 2 weeks later, it does happen again. $3,000. This time, she says it's for her sister's medical emergency. I'm too tired to fight, too tired to question. I just nod and try to forget about it. She stops touching me, stops kissing me. We sleep in the same bed, but we might as well be strangers. When I try to talk about it, she says she's stressed, she's tired, she's worried about the visa. Always something. One night, I hear her on the phone again, speaking Thai. I don't understand the words, but I understand the tone. She's arguing with someone. Her voice is harsh, angry. Then she laughs, and it's not a nice laugh. It's cruel. When she comes back inside, she sees me watching. "What?" she says. "Who was that?" "Just a friend." "Why do you always ask me that?" "Because you're always on the phone. Because you're always texting. Because I feel like I don't know you anymore." "Maybe you never knew me," she says, and her voice is so cold it makes me shiver. We stand there looking at each other, and I realize I'm afraid, not of her, but of what's happening, of what I'm losing, of what I might have already lost. "I'm going to sleep," she says, and she walks past me into the bedroom. I stay on the balcony until dawn, watching the city wake up, wondering how I got here. I wake up, and the apartment is too quiet. That's the first thing I notice. No sound of the shower running, no smell of coffee, no Wiphawan humming in the kitchen. I sit up, and my heart starts pounding. Something is wrong. I can feel it in my bones. "Wiphawan," I call out. Nothing. I get out of bed and check the bathroom. Empty. The kitchen. Empty. I open the closet, and all her clothes are gone. The shoes she kept by the door. Gone. Her toiletries from the bathroom counter. Gone. It's like she was never here. My hands are shaking as I grab my phone. I call her number. It rings once, then goes to a message in Thai. I don't understand the words, but I understand what it means. The number is disconnected. I open my banking app. My fingers are clumsy on the screen. When the page loads, I feel my stomach drop. $47,000. Gone. Transferred out in chunks over the past 2 weeks. Amounts I didn't notice because I wasn't checking, because I trusted her, because I was so desperate to believe in us that I stopped paying attention. I sit down on the couch, and I can't breathe. My chest feels tight. My vision is blurring. This can't be happening. This can't be real. I force myself to stand up. I go to the desk where we kept the visa paperwork. The folder is gone. All of it. The copies of my passport, the financial statements, the forms we filled out together. Everything. I tear through the drawers, looking for anything, but there's nothing. She took it all. I call the visa agent with shaking hands. "Mr. Gerald," he says when he answers. "I was going to call you. What happened to our application?" "It was withdrawn," he says. "Last week. Miss Wiphawan came in and canceled everything. She said you'd changed your minds." "She what?" "She withdrew the application. I assumed you knew." "I didn't know," I say, and my voice sounds far away. "I didn't know anything." "I'm sorry," he says, and he sounds like he means it. "This happens sometimes. I should have called you to confirm," but she seemed very certain. After I hang up, I just sit there, staring at the wall, trying to understand. The visa was fake. The whole thing was fake. She was never coming to America. She was never going to marry me. She just needed me to believe she was, so I would keep giving her money. I start adding it up in my head. The surgery money, the medication, the brother's school fees, the sister's rent, the emergency transfers. It all adds up to around $153,000 over 10 months, plus the $47,000 she just took, $200,000. I gave her $200,000. I start laughing. I don't know why. It's not funny. Nothing about this is funny, but I can't stop laughing. And then I'm crying. And then I'm just sitting there, making sounds that don't make sense, in an empty apartment that suddenly feels like a tomb. I find her old phone in the nightstand. She got a new one last month. Said hers was broken. I paid for it. Of course I did. I turn on the old phone, and it still has some battery. I go through her photos. Most of them are deleted, but there's one in the recently deleted folder. Her with a young Thai man. Not Chai. Someone else. They're at a beach. His arm is around her. She's looking at him the way she used to look at me. The photo is dated 3 months ago, right in the middle of us, right when she was telling me she loved me. I dropped the phone and put my head in my hands. How did I not see it? How did I let this happen? All the red flags, all the signs. Tom tried to warn me. Rachel tried to warn me. I saw her with that man at the bar. I noticed the distance. I felt the change, but I didn't want to believe it. I wanted so badly to be loved that I let myself be used. I'm 68 years old, and I just got played like a fool. I'm sitting in an apartment I rented for her, in a country I came to for her, realizing that the person I thought I knew never existed. Wiphawan wasn't real. She was a character, a role, and I was just the mark. I think about my wife, Helen. She loved me, really loved me. For 42 years, she loved me, and 6 months after she died, I threw away her memory chasing someone who saw me as nothing but a paycheck. I spent the next 3 days in that apartment, barely eating, barely sleeping, just trying to make sense of it all. But there's no sense to make. I was lonely. She was opportunistic. That's all there is to it. On the 4th day, I make a decision. I need to know. I need to hear it from her. I need her to admit what she did. Maybe then I can start to let go. I hire a private investigator. His name is Kasem, and his office is above a noodle shop in a part of the city I've never been to. He's in his 50s, wearing a wrinkled shirt, and he has the tired eyes of someone who's seen everything. You want me to find someone, he says. It's not a question. A woman, Thai. Her name is Wiphawan. I have photos. I show him my phone. Pictures of us together. He studies them without expression. What did she do? She took my money and disappeared. He nods like this is the most normal thing in the world. How much? $200,000. He looks up at me. American dollars? Yes. And you want to find her why? For police? For lawyer? I just want to talk to her. Talking won't get your money back. I know that. I just need to understand why. He leans back in his chair. I can find her. Probably in 2-3 days. But I tell you now, you won't like what you find. You never do. I don't care. I need to know. Okay, it's your money. What's left of it? 2 days later, he calls me. I found her. Where? Bangkok. Nice condo in Thonglor. You want the address? Yes. Is she alone? There's a pause. No, she lives with someone. A man. Thai. Younger than you. Of course she does. Send me the address. Mr. Gerald, I don't think this is a good idea. Send me the address. The next morning, I'm on a bus to Bangkok. It takes 6 hours, and I spend the whole time rehearsing what I'm going to say. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be rational. I'm going to ask her to explain, and then I'm going to walk away. The condo building is new, expensive. Glass and steel. The kind of place that requires a key card to enter. I wait outside until someone comes out, and I slip in behind them. Her apartment is on the 8th floor, number 804. I stand outside the door for a full minute, my heart pounding. Then I knock. She opens the door, and for just a second, I see genuine surprise on her face. Then it's gone, replaced by something harder. Gerald, what are you doing here? We need to talk. She looks over her shoulder into the apartment. This is not good time. I don't care. You owe me a conversation. She studies me for a moment, then steps into the hallway and closes the door behind her. My boyfriend is inside. You cannot come in. Your boyfriend. Of course. I almost laugh. How long have you been with him? That's not your business. Was it the whole time? When you were with me, were you with him too? She crosses her arms. What do you want, Gerald? I want to know why. I want you to explain to me why you did this. Did what? I didn't do anything to you. You took $200,000 from me. You gave it to me, she says, and her voice is flat. I never took anything. You gave me money because you wanted to, because it made you feel good, because you wanted me to stay with you. I gave you money because you said your mother was sick, because you said your family needed help." She shrugs. "My mother is fine. My family doesn't need your help. I needed your help, and you gave it. You lied to me. You lied to yourself," she says, and her eyes are cold. "You knew. Deep down you knew something was wrong, but you didn't want to see it because you were lonely, and I made you feel young again. You wanted someone to love you, and I let you believe that I did. That's all." I feel like she just punched me in the stomach, because she's right. I did know. I did see the signs. I just chose to ignore them. "So that's it? You just used me?" "You made it easy," she says. "You came to Thailand with your sad story about your dead wife. You had so much money and nobody to spend it on. You were desperate for someone to care about you. I just gave you what you wanted. I wanted someone to love me." "No," she says. "You wanted someone to pretend to love you, and I'm good at pretending. You paid me to be your girlfriend. That's what this was. You just didn't want to admit it. I thought we were building something real." She actually laughs. "Real? You're old enough to be my father. Did you really think I loved you? Did you really think a 35-year-old woman would choose to be with a 68-year-old man if he didn't have money?" Every word is a knife. And I can't say anything back because part of me knows she's speaking the truth I didn't want to face. "You should go now," she says. "And don't come back. Don't call me. Don't try to find me again. It's over. It was always going to end. You knew that too." She opens the door to her apartment and goes inside. Before it closes, I hear a man's voice asking something in Thai. I hear her laugh, light and easy, the same laugh I fell in love with. Then the door clicks shut, and I'm standing alone in the hallway. I take the elevator down to the lobby and walk out into the Bangkok heat. I don't know where I'm going. I just walk. For hours, I walk. Through streets I don't know, past people who don't see me, until finally I stop at a park and sit on a bench. She was right. About all of it. I did know. I did see the signs. But I was so desperate to believe that someone could want me again that I ignored every warning. I threw away $200,000 because I couldn't face the truth. That my wife is gone. That I'm old. That I'm alone. And that no amount of money can change those facts. I sit there until the sun starts to set, and then I take a taxi back to the bus station. I go back to Chiang Mai. I pack up my things from the apartment, and 3 days later, I'm on a plane back to Phoenix. The house in Phoenix looks exactly the same furniture, the same photos on the walls, the same silence, but somehow it feels different, or maybe I'm different. I drop my bags in the bedroom and sit on the couch where I sat after Helen died, the same couch where I decided I couldn't stay here anymore, where I decided Thailand was the answer. I was wrong. Thailand wasn't the answer. Running away wasn't the answer. I thought I could escape my grief by putting 10,000 miles between me and my memories. But grief doesn't work that way, and loneliness doesn't work that way. I took all my pain with me, and someone saw it and used it. My phone rings. It's Rachel. I send her a text from the airport letting her know I was coming home. I stare at her name on the screen for a long moment before I answer. "Dad." "Hey, honey. You're home? You're really home?" "Yeah, I'm home." "What happened? Your text just said you were coming back. Is everything okay?" I close my eyes. "No, everything is not okay. Can you come over? I'm already on my way." She arrives 30 minutes later, and the moment I see her face, I start crying. Not quiet tears. Full, body-shaking sobs. She doesn't ask any questions. She just holds me the way I used to hold her when she was little and scared. When the crying finally stops, we sit on the couch, and I tell her everything. About Wiphawan. About the money. About how I knew something was wrong but couldn't admit it. About Bangkok. About the conversation in the hallway. Rachel listens without interrupting. When I finish, she's quiet for a long time. "I'm sorry, Dad," she finally says. "I'm so sorry this happened to you. You tried to warn me. It doesn't matter. I'm still sorry. I lost $200,000, Rachel. I lost a year of my life. I lost my dignity. You lost money, she says firmly. That's all. You didn't lose your dignity. You didn't lose yourself. You're still here. I feel like a fool. You're not a fool. You're someone who was grieving and lonely and got taken advantage of. That doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. I want to believe her, but I can't. Not yet. Over the next few weeks, Rachel visits almost every day. She brings groceries. She brings her kids. She brings normalcy back into my life in small doses. One day, she tells me about a support group she found online. People who've been scammed in romantic relationships abroad. I think you should go, she says. I don't want to sit around talking about how stupid I was. It's not about being stupid. It's about healing. Just try it once, please. So I go. It's in a community center, a circle of chairs, coffee and paper cups. There are 8 of us, all men, all over 50. We go around the circle and introduce ourselves. I'm Gerald, I say when it's my turn. I'm 68. I met a woman in Thailand. I gave her $200,000 over 10 months. She disappeared. How long ago? Someone asks. 3 weeks. A man across from me nods. Philippines for me. 18 months ago. Lost $130,000. And my house, which I put up as collateral for a loan I gave her. Another man. Vietnam. 2 years. Lost my retirement savings, all of it. As we go around the circle, I realize I'm not alone. These aren't stupid men. They're teachers, engineers, veterans, business owners. They're people who were lonely and found someone who seemed to care. And they all got used. After the meeting, a man named Bill comes up to me. He's in his 70s, gray beard, kind eyes. It gets better, he says. Not easy, not quick, but it gets better. How long did it take you to stop being angry? About a year. To stop being ashamed? I'm still working on that. What do you do? How do you move forward? You forgive yourself, he says. That's the hardest part. You forgive yourself for being human, for wanting to be loved, for making a mistake, and then you rebuild, slowly, one day at a time. I start going to the meetings every week. I start seeing a therapist, an older woman who specializes in grief and trauma. She helps me understand that what happened with Wiphawan wasn't separate from Helen's death. It was directly connected. I was trying to replace what I lost, trying to fill a hole that couldn't be filled by another person. You can't outsource your healing, she tells me. Other people can support you, but you have to do the work yourself. So, I do the work. I go through Helen's things, which I'd been avoiding for 18 months. I sort through her clothes, her books, her jewelry. I cry a lot, but it's different crying now. It's cleaner somehow. I'm not running from it. I call Tom and apologize for shutting him out. He tells me to shut up and come play golf. We play 9 holes, and he doesn't ask about Thailand. He just talks about his grandkids and his bad knees and the election coming up. Normal things. Things that remind me life keeps going. I donate most of the money from Helen's estate to a hospice charity. The money I have left, I put into a trust for Rachel's kids. I can't get back what I lost to Wiphawan, but I can make sure what's left goes somewhere meaningful. 3 months after I get back, I'm sitting in my therapist's office, and she asks me a question. If you could go back and talk to the Gerald who just arrived in Thailand, what would you tell him? I think about it for a long time. I'd tell him that grief can't be outrun, that loneliness is part of being human, that wanting to be loved doesn't make you weak, and that healing takes time, real time. Not 3 months in a foreign country with someone who says the right things. That's good, she says. What else? I'd tell him that losing Helen doesn't mean his life is over. It means it's different, and different isn't always bad. It's just different. Do you believe that now? I'm starting to. On the 6-month anniversary of coming home, I go to the cemetery where Helen is buried. I haven't been since before I left for Thailand. I was too ashamed of what I'd done, ashamed of how quickly I'd tried to replace her. I sit by her grave for a long time, just talking. I tell her about Wiphawan, about the money, about how stupid I was. I tell her I'm sorry for running away from her memory, and then I tell her goodbye. Not forever goodbye, just goodbye to the version of me that couldn't live without her. I'm 68 years old. I lost my wife. I lost $200,000. I lost a year of my life to someone who never cared about me. But I didn't lose everything. I still have Rachel. I still have my grandkids. I still have Tom and the other friends who stuck around. I still have myself. The money is gone. I'll never get it back, and honestly, I've stopped trying. Wiphawan is in Bangkok living her life, and I hope she's happy. I really do. Because being angry at her would mean giving her more of my energy, more of my time, and she's already taken enough. What she said to me in that hallway was cruel, but it was also true. I did make it easy. I did ignore the signs. I did lie to myself because the lie felt better than the truth, and I have to own that, not to punish myself, but to make sure I never do it again. I'm not looking for love anymore. I'm not looking for someone to fill the empty spaces. I'm learning to be okay with the emptiness, to sit with it, to understand that it's not something to be fixed. It's just part of who I am now. Last week, I went back to the support group, and a new man was there. He'd just gotten back from Colombia. Lost everything. He looked the way I must have looked 6 months ago, broken, ashamed, lost. After the meeting, I talked to him. It gets better, I told him, Bill's words coming out of my mouth. Not easy, not quick, but it gets better. How? He asked. You forgive yourself, and then you rebuild. He didn't look like he believed me. I didn't blame him. I wouldn't have believed me either back then. But it's true. I'm rebuilding, slowly. Some days are harder than others. Some days I wake up and the first thing I think about is how stupid I was. But more and more, I wake up and think about other things. About seeing Rachel, about playing golf with Tom, about the volunteer work I started at the hospice center. I'm not the same Gerald who went to Thailand looking for an escape. That Gerald thought happiness was something you could find in another person. This Gerald knows better. Happiness isn't something you find. It's something you build, piece by piece, day by day, in the small moments that don't feel important until you realize they're everything. I'm 68 years old, and I'm starting over. It's not the life I thought I'd have. It's not the life I wanted, but it's the life I've got, and that's enough. It has to be enough, because I'm still here, still breathing, still learning, still becoming someone I can forgive. The money's gone. The illusion is shattered, but I'm still here. And maybe that's the point. Maybe survival is its own kind of victory. Maybe coming home, facing the truth, and choosing to keep going is braver than running ever was. I'm not telling this story because I want sympathy. I'm telling it because somewhere out there, someone else is sitting in a cafe in Chiang Mai or Manila or Hanoi, falling for a smile that's been practiced 1,000 times before. Someone else is ignoring the red flags because loneliness hurts more than doubt. Someone else is about to make the same mistakes I made. And maybe if they hear this, they'll pause. They'll question. They'll protect themselves in a way I didn't. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll do exactly what I did. Because when you're drowning in grief and someone throws you a rope, you don't ask if it's strong enough to hold you. You just grab on and hope. I grabbed on. The rope broke. And I fell. But I survived the fall. And now I'm here, standing on solid ground again, telling anyone who'll listen, check the rope, because some people will save you, and some people will let you drown, and knowing the difference might just save your life.